What's up, guys? It's Matt Jackson and Clay Smith, and we are the Wash Bros. Thanks for tuning in. This is going to be a episode we air the 22nd of February, so end of February, and it'll be the seventh episode of our third season. So this is the pivotal time in our location in South Carolina where we're really getting to the end, if not like the end of the slow season, if not the beginning of the busy season. So we're booking our schedules out, filling the depth of our trucks, and doing everything we can to position ourselves to really kill it this spring. So you want to kick this thing off, Clay?
Yeah, it's definitely been one of the craziest winters that I've had, and then going on 5 years of full time and doing this, it's been one of those more challenging ones for me. Even though that we had a great year last year, coming into 2026, it's definitely been a little different. The trends are still there. We still have our CRMs. We can look at all of our data. I'm surprisingly up as far as my percentage and my revenue and stuff, but it's still for me. December was pretty rough. So all the downtime that I had in December, kind of just took my rest and worked hard into my marketing and SEO and my post on social media, just trying to get into the rhythm and the good habits of doing the certain things that we need to do daily and weekly and monthly, and being consistent. So y'all know that's my favorite word: being consistent and doing the things daily, monthly, and eventually that becomes just a everyday routine of healthy habits for your business. And what I mean by that is, I've said it before: posting content all over the internet. Every little thing with this new AI stuff, anything that you can get on the internet, no matter what platform it is, if it's Facebook, TikTok, YouTube's a good one. Um, any kind of platform online that AI can scrape from to make you, I would say, I don't know how to say this, but to make you more visible on Google, I guess is what I'm trying to say. Because AI is the new upcoming thing. I said this in the last episode that we aired, that I had a customer, the first customer I ever had, and he found me on AI. So that really put a light bulb in my head. Hey, I need to make sure that I'm working on this stuff for AI, since it's the new upcoming thing. AI actually has it where you can put ads on when people are searching for AI now. So if they're searching for pressure washing, house washing, driveway cleaning, commercial cleaning, whatever, if they're asking what the businesses are, you could probably have an ad in there. Well, I don't think we're fully there yet, but I have noticed, it's with my own due diligence and doing AI searches myself, that there's been ads in there.
Exactly right. And I've noticed too, like when I was looking on Gemini the other day, which is Google AI, I saw like my Google ad was popping up in the AI form. So it's one of those things, like to Clay's point, like information is everywhere. So if you thought back in the day, and like when Facebook was like really starting to pop off, like the late 20 teens to like the 2020 COVID rush, like if you were like, oh, I don't need to be on Facebook, I don't need to be online, I don't need to be on this, the next big jump is the AI shift. So it's more important now than ever to get in front and post all of your stuff online, get your website optimized, not only for SEO, but optimize it for AI. Because if your website's not optimized for AI is not going to pull it. So somebody could be in business for 30 years and rely on word of mouth and rely on all this stuff. That's great and all, but like if you're not keeping up with the trends, you're missing out on a huge amount of revenue. And not just that, like people are going to resort to AI search. So to Clay's point, somebody's going to say, oh yeah, I don't remember the guy who used to pressure wash. I don't have to dig through a drawer anymore. I can just ask AI. I can ask Siri. I can ask my Google search. I can say, hey, I live in Five Forks, which is a neighborhood in our area. I have a dirty siding. I want my windows cleaned and I want it to be a reputable company. And AI will populate one or two companies that are the perfect selection for you. So if you're not allowing your business to look good on AI, you're just missing out completely. And that's a huge push. I've noticed, like Clay was saying, there's a lot of turnover and there's a lot of shifting going on in the Google space. And you used to be able to just put money into ads. Well, ads are getting a lot more expensive if you guys haven't noticed. And same with Facebook. Facebook used to be a gold mine back in the day. Facebook is not as great as it used to be. So it's like you got to stay on top of trends, figure out this AI thing, and get your business plugged into that. Because again, Everybody's door knocking, everybody's putting clip flyers out, everybody's doing yard signs. Like you're competing against hundreds of people in your market. And we have yard signs around town that are littering the place that say house washing $169. So that's, in my opinion, the inflation adjusted $99 guy. You don't want to compete with that. How can Clay and I compete with that if we're relying on the same methods as these people who are going door to door or trying to sell the same value, that the perceived value, like the customer's going to think we're all the same. So if we're going door to door, or if we're hanging a clip flyer on somebody's door and a yard sign, and those people are doing it for $169, and I say, man, we start at $350 service minimum, they're going to laugh us out the window. They're going to laugh us out the door. So like understand your market, understand where your pricing fits in your market, understand the value you have to provide, and the value that you provide, like understand those customers, like where they want to find you. And more times than not, they don't want to find you on like door knocking or on yard signs or on all these other like more primitive ways of getting business. Not hating if that's your way of getting business, because like you're just starting out, you don't have a lot of money, you got a lot of time. That's great. But when you're competing in a $50,000, $60,000 a month revenue type business, when you're an established company, even when you're past a couple years in business, you should be competing at a higher level than the door to door. Everybody loves this like 0 to 100 grand. I didn't spend any money on marketing on my Facebook. Good for you. Imagine what would happen if you actually spent money on marketing. Like, I know it's a flex to tell people, oh, this is organic. Yeah, but what's your time worth? And not just what's your time worth, what's the opportunity cost? Like, if you were to invest $10,000 into the correct marketing channel, what if you made 100 grand off of that? Does that beat saving whatever, like 10 grand of invested marketing into losing out on $90,000? I don't think so. So you got to reframe the way you think, and to constantly evolve, to constantly grow. Like that's what's required to be successful and to last in this business. Clay's point, the slow season was a little bit rough for a lot of people. We had some commercial work that helped us, floated us a little bit on cash flow, but even then, like we were like burning some reserves. So like if you're just relying on like, oh, the season's this, and like I'll get what I can and I'm gonna door knock, like it's hyper competitive. There's every time I look, there's a new college kid with professional equipment, with a fancy rig, with good branding and good marketing, running social media ads. So like, what can you do to separate yourself from that?
Absolutely. And the biggest thing about the yard signs, we talked a little bit about it last episode that we aired or whatnot. And I've actually watched a podcast last week, and all they talked about was yard signs and how it benefited or did it benefit pressure washing industry. The biggest thing that I've noticed about it is you have the yard signs and they all look the same. So if you see a bunch of signs around town that say house washing and then a phone number, the customer eventually just becomes post blind to them. So what if they've already called that other company and they didn't like what the other company had to say? That puts you out if your sign looks exactly like the other guy. So they were like, okay, well, there's another one of what's his name's yard sign, and it's actually somebody else's. So what can you do to stand out? Like Matt said. So what can we do to stand out, be different, be unique? You want to be your own person. You want to be your own company. You want to be your own brand, because that's what makes you different, especially in a saturated market like myself and Matt. You got to stand out. You got to be different, and you can't blend in with everybody else. And going back to the AI thing, um, the biggest thing about the AI thing is it doesn't matter how long you've been in this space. If you've efficiently put stuff out in the content world, post your videos with creative descriptions. And I've noticed that a lot of guys are using AI for their descriptions, and that's helping them rank well on AI because they're using those AI descriptions. So if you're just getting going, there's a good chance that you're going to pop up on AI. I mean, tomorrow. I mean, that's just what I've noticed in my area. Never heard of some of these guys that are popping up just with my searches, trying to figure it out, trying to figure out the trends, trying to figure out a strategy to rank on AI, to rank on Google, to rank with the Gemini, whatever. There's so many of them out there. But how can you be different? Start thinking that way instead of how can I be like everybody else? Like, I see what Clay's doing, I see what Matt's doing. Let me try to be like him. Let me try to be like them. That is the last thing you want to do. You want to stick out, you want to be different, and you don't want to become post blind to the customers that you are targeting.
Exactly right. You want to know how to land bigger jobs. You want to know how to get into commercial work and do bigger work. how are you separating yourself? Because sure, you can go and knock on somebody's door and do a $99 driveway because you're the cheapest person. It's a low enough price threshold where they're like, sure, whatever, but I'm not going to pay you anything worth your time. So like, if you think you're going to go door knock and then upsell people $1,200 tickets, it's probably not the best way to utilize your time. If you're door knocking and saying, hey, we're just trying to fill a schedule worth $100 tickets, you might be successful there. And the biggest thing too, when like geographics and locations are expensive, excuse me, they're important. So like in our area, we have extremely strict code enforcement when it comes to signage. So the city's going to find your signs and they're going to fine you. it's it's one of those things, like we always get people here that are like signs, 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 and then you see their signs littered everywhere. So sure, they may get a couple calls, but then the city comes after them and then they get fined for it. So like, what are you doing to your brand? If you're spending a lot of time trying to build your brand as something legitimate and like a high value, like higher price point company, don't do stuff that's considered littering to most customers. Like with Facebook nowadays, I see all the time these clip flyers in driveways on somebody's, like somebody takes a picture of that, posted on a community Facebook group and says, like, this is trash, this is garbage, and then there's like 200 comments on that. Do you want your company to be like in that type of social media shitstorm? I personally don't. And it's one of those things, like, what's the ROI at the end of the day after spending the money for the clip flyers, after having somebody throw them in everybody's driveway, and then the negative like the negative association of your company littering? Every clip flyer I've seen, it's say like a 3,000 square foot house, and it's got like, we'll clean your house today for $249. So it's like the bottom of the barrel, and you don't want to be associated with that because, yeah, sure, 5-10 years ago it was a different situation. Maybe you're in a place where there's not a lot of pressure washing. Maybe like it's not as saturated as here or in other places of where you guys are listening. So like, you have to constantly be creative and be in front of customers, and being in front of the right customer is more important than just being in front of everybody. I've kind of restructured my Google Ads campaign, whereas I was running more, say, like large local reach. So like a keyword would be like a pressure washing near me. That's a bottom of the funnel, meaning like people are searching pressure washing near me because they want to have your house pressure washed. Like there's a direct need. It's the bottom of the funnel. Whoever pops up is great. They want that. So that's a good way to attract customers. But like, I was spreading myself very thin by like targeting like a 30-mile radius. And even with an okay budget, like 100 something bucks a day, Google was still like spreading that out too much. So I wasn't getting like rich leads in targeted areas that I want. And what I've done recently, and I'm experimenting for this year, is like blown up my service area and say, okay, where's the most ideal customer for me? And for me, there's certain zip codes around us, like Simpsonville, Five Forks, Clay Nose. These are like $800,000 houses. People get their houses cleaned yearly. It's pretty dense as far as the population goes. So you're not over here like trying to hit a couple farmhouses where there's money and then everything else is just fields. So I'm able to lock down like specific keyword phrases in like really small geographical areas and then like hyper target those areas. So if somebody is in that specific area, if I'm putting $100 a day into an ad, I'm hitting a couple zip codes versus spreading myself out amongst like 30 zip codes. So they're going to see my ad at a higher frequency, and it's going to have like tailored text to them. So instead of saying like pressure washing in Greenville, which is like the big area we live in, I can say like pressure washing in this neighborhood. So I can target these neighborhoods at like more of a micro level, and that would be like the internet equivalent to going canvassing door to door in a neighborhood. But instead of like knocking on everybody's door and kind of interrupting them, being what we call top of the funnel activity, like somebody's not interested, you're trying to like create awareness, that's top of the funnel. We're able to buy at a greater utilization like of our ad spend of like these hyper targeted neighborhoods, hyper targeted areas with a like a good message. So when somebody's searching like in that area, like, hey, pressure washing, I have a need right now, the money of our ad budget is going directly to that, as opposed to being spread out to like a couple clicks throughout the whole area. So I mean, the point of this is like, how can I take, yeah, the hyper like attack of doing like door to door or canvassing a neighborhood, and then how can I bring that online, and how can I target with AI and stuff like that?
Yeah, the biggest thing is becoming relevant online, getting those reviews, being visible when people are searching for you and stuff like that. And that's when things really start popping off for you. The biggest downfall I see about the clip flyers and all the other things, the door hangers, it takes a lot of time. That's not a right now customer. That is a, I'm hoping I can sell this customer versus Google, like Matt's talking about now. If you set up a good, successful Google campaign, those customers, when they see you, they are looking to hire. They're digging for a company versus boots on the ground marketing. You're having to take your time, you're spending your gas, whatever. At the end of the day, it all comes out about the same if you could figure out a good campaign digitally. And another thing, whenever I'm pulling up to these houses and I'm seeing these clip fires on the ground, some of these companies I've never heard of before, right? So I'll search them, I'll do my research on these guys and see what they're about, and I'll look them up, and they're not even visible online. Okay, so you're already throwing these clip flyers out, and most of the time, if I'm not able to see them online, they're usually like a part timer or something like that, or either they're trying to get going, but they don't have anything online. If you're going in these neighborhoods, most of my customers, they're going to want to look and see and do some research on you and see what you've done, see what you're about, see the customer testimonies. And if you don't have that, you're really wasting your time. Unless you're able to be there, get in front of that customer and sell yourself, you really don't have any shot. It's really a waste of time. So my thing is, if you're going to do these things, make sure you're getting all these things online to build a good reputation. That way you can at least look relevant. Because if you're throwing these things, you're basically wasting your time.
Exactly right. And like I think people have this done in like they almost have this backwards. They worry about the wrong stuff. And it's just like you want like people will always have to check a company or validate a company online. So instead of saying like, "Oh, I'm just going to like sell this person," they're going to still like look you up online. So if you're not showing up online, that's a red flag. If you're throwing clip flyers and you have a 4.2 or a 3.8 Google review and all the comments say you spam my driveway, you throw these clip flyers in my driveway, you put all signs everywhere, like they're going to say, "Look, I don't want to deal with this company because it's a spam company." So it's almost a gimmicky thing. People have like a BS detector nowadays with the internet. So like we have to do everything we can to appear perfect online, appear like in front of the customer, and allow online to sell ourselves. Like have the great website, have the great funnel set up, have the great Google ad strategy, have the great branding, do everything correctly. And then yeah, if you want to go door to door and do 5 rounds and you got beautifully wrapped trucks and then you're showcasing what you got, that's perfect. But just to start going to door, it's like almost the like I came from sales. So it's like, hey, let me pitch you, sell you, and then get you excited, but I have no product to sell you. And that's the thing. People they think like, oh, look at me. I know all the technical about pressure washing. Nobody cares about that. They care about yeah, the clean home, the trustworthiness, but like in a hyper competitive industry, like your brand is everything. So your product, which is what's your company look like online? How many trucks you got? How many employees you got? Are you the one pressure washing? Do you have trained employees pressure washing? Like that's all more important to the customer than, hey, Mrs. Smith, I can give you a discount today and hard sell you. Because they're going to cross reference that with what they find online. So for Clay and us, say somebody threw a clip flyer, somebody door knocked, they're going to be like, oh, yeah, this guy. They probably don't even know the company. And if it's a very generic thing, they're going to search like pressure washing to try to figure out who it was. Most times, like more times than not, they're going to find Clay or I's Google ad that's going to target them. They're going to click on it and they're going to call us instead, thinking it's you. That's happened so many times where they call us thinking it's another company because it's Google or they're elderly or they're just like, oh, you guys answer the phone. The other guy didn't pick up. So like imagine going through the effort of door knocking somebody, giving somebody a card, putting trash out there, and then not having a system that answers the phone call, an easy funnel where a customer can easily go to a website, enter the information, and then get a text within a couple minutes. Like you guys are missing the point here. And that's where we talk about like your brand is essentially the product. So like since we're a service, we're not selling like a fancy car. Like the product for us is the entire like delivery process from like the first contact to how we appear online to like how we communicate with the customer. And the smallest part of that is, does the house look clean? So like until you guys dial all of that process in, all of that value add in your company, it doesn't matter if you soft wash or pressure wash. They want a clean home. They want it to be a good, reputable company, and they want it to be an easy transaction. So like we're able to reverse engineer all of that and then say, yeah, sure, we want to canvas a neighborhood. To us, it's not really worth our time. Like if we want to do door to door or canvas somebody, we want to walk into like a property management place. We want to have like our portfolio built out. We want to say, hey, we have salespeople who are doing this for us, but they're selling a good brand and a good product. Like there's two, it's easy to buy on to like these marketing guys who they're selling you print media. Like their objective is to sell the dream, and you buy 10,000 print flyers and you give them $1,000. That's the dream for them because you're the product. It doesn't matter if you don't convert any of those. It doesn't matter if you buy EDDM and you spend $30,000 a year and you don't make your money back. They sold you that print media. Like we like to focus on like good branding stuff, and a lot of what we do is online, or like something as simple as getting a good business card. I noticed that people still ask for business cards. Clay talks about this a lot. He gives people business cards like right off the bat. That's a good personal touch once you meet somebody and they found you online, or you're at a gas station and something like that. Like we make these cards on I think it was like Vistaprint or something, but it's pretty much like a credit card. And I'll hand it to somebody, and yeah, it's like a 50-cent card. You can buy a basic card for 10 cents or 5 cents, but it's got a QR on the back, and it's got a little bit of our branding, and then it says scan for a free quote. So like I'm capturing a lead, I'm making it simple, and then I'm not overloading it with pressure washing stuff. Like I don't on this thing, I'm not saying soft washing or all my services. I'm making it simple, but like it's a high quality thing. So like to me, something like that, like a premium card, goes longer and farther than a generic looking yard sign, clip flyer, or a door hanger. So like figure out how to create your brand, how to create your product where like you are premium. So when somebody calls you and you say, hey, yes, we'll clean your 50 by 20 little standard subdivision driveway, but we have a $350 minimum. Instead of them saying, oh my God, that's crazy, they say, well, you look good online, come out and do it. And then we're making $350 on a 10-minute project, but they bought the brand and they bought the process and the product and all that.
Absolutely. Another big point that I heard you talk about was how, you're going out and quoting all these stuff. I've gotten to where I don't even have to go out and quote the commercial bids. And I actually landed a townhome community just because I was very quick and prompt and everything and it comes with experience. I used to have to go out to every commercial bid, but I don't even have to go out anymore. So I just do everything over the phone. I actually had a townhome community call me, and within an hour and a half, I had them a quote. And she told me because I did that, I had her a quote. I made it easy for them. I knew what I was talking about over the phone. I had done many of them before. I just charged them a flat rate per whatever per unit and said, hey, this is what we do per unit for all of our commercial properties. And she loved that. She loved that I wasn't coming out and rolling my little measure wheel around and doing the square footage and all that mess. If you just keep it simple for these people, don't over confuse them, don't make them think, and just give them a price, a detailed quote, and be professional with them, they're more than likely going to hire you instead of going out to these commercial jobs or these bigger jobs, residential jobs, and just trying to upsell them on everything you can. You're more than likely you're thinking the wrong direction, as Matt was saying a minute ago. Just be simple. Think about your targeted customers. Everyone in this world now is lazy. The easier you can make it for these people, the better off they're going to like you, and it ups your chance of getting hired.
Exactly right. And the biggest thing, think about if you are a value service, you're like if you're going and being super desperate and trying to like bring out your wheel, spend an hour, walk around, do all this nonsense. First of all, in my opinion, you're dealing with somebody that doesn't value their own time. So if they don't value their own time, they probably don't have a lot of money. And that to me is like if a bit like all of my rich, like successful business customers keep it simple, be as less of a friction point in their day as possible. I mean, think about all of you guys listening to us. When somebody calls you, do you want to give them 30 minutes to ramble on about something? Or do you want them to say, I sent you an email. I can help you out on this. I noticed, say it's an SEO audit for your website. They'll provide you with like a quick video. Here's a couple free fixes that I recommend. More than happy to help out. If you're interested, jump on a call. Or do you want somebody to cold call you and then say, oh, ramble, ramble, ramble? You feel like your whole day's wasted. You're like, there's no value add in this. also think about like a luxury brand. You don't see these luxury car brands or luxury like Rolex or whatever it is, like Louis Vuitton. You don't see them at Walmart like begging everybody, like canvassing the massive area. No, they built their brand, and people spend money because of the exclusivity of it. It's a simple process. Like, wow, that was super easy. That was a professional way of doing it. They're not going door to door and saying, hey, can you buy my watch? Can you buy my purse? Can you buy my car? No. Like, so why are we trying to like upsell a certain amount of people who probably can't afford it, or they're not going to benefit our business in the long term? And I like to think of like, it's not just like, yeah, sure, you can go out there and like try to catch a fish or like try to hunt, but like if you can create a system that like attracts them to you, that's much better for the for like the stability and the future proof of your business. Like if you're just like capturing suckers, almost like I remember this from the car business. Like I'm going out there trying to find a sucker, and then like I'm gonna spend 3 hours to try to make another $1,000 on like a gross upsell, and it's like how many hours were wasted. But like me as a sales rep, I made a draw and I made like $10 an hour or whatever. So like my time to the dealership was like, sure, like go out, waste time. But you guys as business owners, as like lean businesses, you want to figure out how to like maximize your like customer acquisition strategy. And you don't just want that as a one off. You want to systematize this so like you're building a big funnel and people keep coming back to you. And then those are the people that will leave you a Google review. How often do you guys complain about, oh, I don't get Google reviews, my customers don't use the internet, or my customers don't do this? Well, if you're attracting these people with a clip flyer, or you're attracting these people by going door to door, they probably don't have a Google account, and they're probably not going to leave you a Google review. So like it's a win-win for us because we're finding people that are attracted to companies that are highly rated on Google. They're going to be more prone to leave you a Google review and better help you in those goals. So like we're able to grow this business, and it almost runs by itself with like our CRM that sends automated messaging. Like we're attracting people that like the internet and like AI and like Google reviews, and they find value in what we do, and they're going to help us build our businesses by contributing more to leaving a review like this guy's great, and that's going to help us grow and scale. Whereas if we're doing clip flyers, if we're doing yard signs, like how many people that call in on a yard sign are going to like leave you a Google review or like share on their Facebook page? Like it's a different game. Yeah, there's people out there that'll do that, but you're almost competing for the bottom percent, and you don't want to compete with that.
Yeah, those guys that you're talking about, you almost got to beg them to do it. You almost got to be on their ass about doing it and send them links, call them and ask them to do it, or either take their phone and do it for them before you leave the job. And the biggest thing about becoming relevant on Google, I know it's hard. It just takes time. And what I did when I first started is I asked all my friends and family. Most of the time, if you like them, they like you, and they support you, they're going to help you. So if you send out that link to your friends, family, coworkers from your last job that you actually got along with, or whatever, get as many as you can. You could probably get 15 to 20 right off the bat, just off of people you know. If you know a lot of people, maybe just a couple. Anything is better than nothing. Get those reviews. Ask for those reviews when you're done with a job. That's one of the things. If I'm out on a job, I've actually trained my new guy to do it too. Hey, if you would, please leave us a review. It helps me get more customers like you. You got to end it with a twist. Make them feel special. The more relevant you can become online, I think this has been the topic of the whole podcast. The more relevant you can become online, the better off, the more successful you'll be, because everything is going digital. That stuff with the clip flyers, the yard signs, and all that is starting to go away. That's the bottom of the barrel type stuff now, especially in a saturated market. And when I have actually researched these companies and found the reputable companies that are actually throwing clip flyers, I've looked at their reviews and they're like 3 to 4 stars, just because of those people that you're leaving the clip flyers in the driveway. They're going and they're writing bad reviews because you're leaving trash in their driveway. So just be careful how you do it. We love to do the marketing that we do because the customer is actually looking for us. The boots on the ground, I mean, I guess it could be good if you're trying to get going and it's just a hobby for you. But if you're looking to do this and you want to change your life and you want to have a successful business, the things that me and Matt do are the correct ways of doing it. Stop listening to the gurus, stop listening to the YouTube guys, because most of them, I know a few good ones. I follow a few good ones in our space, but a lot of the guys, they're just going off an AI script, And a lot of the guys are retired and they don't have anything else better to do, and they may wash 4 houses a week. So just be careful who you're listening to. I know that we have a lot of listeners that listen to a couple of different people, but do your research on these guys. See what they actually do. Look up their business on Google versus mine and Matt's. Matt's got 600 Google reviews. I'm about to push 400. We do a lot of business, and the proof is in the pudding. You look at on any of our social media platforms. You go back and listen to all of our podcasts. Everything we say is not a written script. It's actually stuff that we're going through. We've documented our whole journey, from the time that I was a owner operator by myself to me having guys helping me out now. We're running 2 trucks since last year. So if we do big numbers. We do numbers in a week that people dream about doing in a month. And that's what I think is cool about it. We have the school community. We're getting ready to we're starting to build our little community there. We got people in our Wash Bros group on the Facebook page. We're gaining a lot of followers on our Facebook page on the Wash Bros podcast. I'm seeing the analytics with the podcast jump for just the people that are listening. And we appreciate every one of you.
Exactly right. And to Clay's point, you got to be kind of cognizant and aware of people. And AI is one of those things where it's a great tool. I use it all the time, but I also have to check it. And I also have enough knowledge where I know when it's like what they call hallucinating, when it's like it's talking in circles, it's kind of bullshit. And I'm like, no, it's all about like how to use it as a strategic partner. Use it to check yourself, use it to kind of do some research, but don't lean on it as everything, because you can almost like it's a device that figures out what you want to hear and then it repeats it back to you. And that's why everybody likes it and it's so successful, because think of it like a yes man. So like you could get stuck in this bubble of like, oh, I'm just going down this rabbit hole of AI. And what AI has allowed is like these people to be like coaches and courses and all that stuff. And if you notice, like anybody can do this nowadays, and Facebook is, my entire feed seems to be like just straight AI generated stuff. Like, yeah, sure, it's probably good to use as an editor and stuff like that, but like when people's entire identities become created on this AI thing, it all starts to sound the same. So you'll get guys who are like, I'm this big time owner operator guy, I do a big focus here, and then you get guys who are like, I'm over here scaling my business, and then you'll look at what their posts are and like the verbiage is almost the same verbiage, and you're like, this is like coming from the same place. So like that's why, to Clay's point, always vet people that you listen to and follow, because just because somebody has 80,000 followers on a YouTube page doesn't mean, first off, doesn't mean they're real. Second of all, doesn't mean that they are targeting like people who are actively growing a business, who are actively in their business. Like if we wanted to make the most and target the most, we would go for the people that wanted to make their first $1,000 pressure washing in a day. That's a massive market. But if you guys are in the Wash Bros, you guys are listening, you're looking here to build and to grow and listen to the motivation, our journey as we grow together. Like Clay's point, like when we first started, we were doing like $15,000-$20,000 a month. I was in the process of beginning to scale. I joined like trucks. I joined with another guy, started the sanding and the sealing, and then now we're banging out like huge numbers. Like we have just applied and reflected and done exactly what we talk about on our podcast, because this is more of a journey for Clay and I as it is for you guys to come along and listen. And that's why like we're not here trying to pitch you stuff. It takes me forever to like try to put a course together, because our objective isn't to make money on selling you a course. It's to say, how can we help you? And like how Clay and I's personality is, like we're so anti bullshit guru that like, yeah, we want to do this to add value, to build our brands within the space, but at the same time, we don't want to be like, let me just bastardize what we're saying and delegitimize it, because like we truly care about this and growing and like helping people out. And instead of answering a million DMs, we can just say, here's a course. So
Absolutely. Those DMs get kind of crazy sometimes with all the questions and stuff. It's very tough. If I've ignored you, don't think it's a being ignored. I'm not really ignoring you. It's just I have 20 other people like you trying to message me asking the same question. So that's why we're starting the school community. You can find that link in the Wash Bros group. Is that right, Matt? In
yeah,
the
be on the
Wash
Wash
Bros
Bros group.
podcast.
Yeah. So like
Yep.
if you're on Facebook, that's a great place to follow and connect. There's like a private group in there. I think you got like 140 something members. If you want to comment and post what your story is and post about stuff you learned, do that in there. We also have a free school group that we're slowly growing as well. So School is more like accountability focused, so it'll be fun to like keep track of what's going on. Facebook, you're like, hey, here's my setup, like give me recommendations. It's a little different style, but like that's go to our Facebook page, the Wash Rose Podcast, find us there, and then we also have like a URL. I know on here it says powerwashingcoach.com, but you can go to washbrospodcast.com and find all the information as well.
Heck yeah, we'd be glad to have you. If you haven't yet, go follow me, Clay Smith, my personal Facebook page. You can find me on LinkedIn. We're on School. You can follow me on School once you get all your stuff if you're not on there yet. Follow Matthew Jackson, Matt the Driveway Guy, that's his business, and C3 Wash Pros, which is my business. And that's about all I got today.
Yep, same here. I mean, if you guys are like us, we're booking out. We're getting our making sure everything's fine tuned in our business, getting truck maintenance in check, making sure all of our equipment's good, getting everything serviced, getting ready for the start of the busy season. So more important now than ever. If you guys are new to pressure washing, get on board, join the groups. A lot of good stuff you'll learn. Listen to some of these past episodes. Again, if you guys are on Amazon or like audiobooks, we got the Wash Bros Blueprint. That's going to be the most recent one. Our 22 pretty much steps of how we became Wash Bros. Like it's it's like how to go from say $150,000 a year to like half a million, or how to scale pretty much, and what we learned from scaling. And then if you guys are newer, no pressure washing, you can find that also on Amazon. Again, this is available paperback or Kindle or Audible. So if you guys just want to listen, it's like a 2 hour listen. You can learn a ton, whether you're just starting out or you're wanting to scale and be more like the volume that we do. But again, like we're not trying to sell you on like scaling a business. There's steps required, patience is required. Clay and I are both like 5 to 7 years in business. So like we've been pushing from day one and it's still taking us this amount of time. So if anybody's selling you the dream of like, oh, I started my business and I did 500K this year, they're probably full of shit. So like the objectives of the Wash Bros is how do we be honest, how do we be transparent, and how do we grow together, and we grow a healthy business, because you could take on debt, put up a good revenue number, and then you're out of business. Like the objective is to like how can we dominate our market and be around for a while.
Yep.
So
Like I said, that's pretty much all I got. Make sure you go follow all of our pages, all of our links. We'd be glad to have you as a regular listener. Go download Apple Podcasts, Spotify. We're on YouTube as well. Wherever you found us, we appreciate you. Drop a comment below. Tell us how you found us and tell us how you feel about us. And there's also a review link on all of these platforms. Go and leave us a review.
yep, so I'll see you guys on the next one, and make sure to leave us a comment after this episode.
Peace out.